guys, it's a pretty nice day here in Atlanta. So let's do something that kind of mirrors that. Let's have some fun today. Some sort of like casual development. Let's do some audio, which is always nice because it breathes life into your project. Something that feels kind of static will suddenly start feeling more dynamic in 3D. And there's some cool audio stuff we're going to do with this game, so I think it should be pretty fun. But we'll start with the audio of the climbing mechanic, which should be good. But let me open up. Unity was opened. It opened on the wrong desktop, so I just have to open it again real quick. And let me make sure that this is set to a Rift. And let me also make sure that my camera is set up correctly. Several times now I've accidentally. Okay, cool. So that's all good. Everything's open. Let me make sure this is a Rift. It is not currently. Let me change that. It is now a Rift. Awesome. So you guys were not privy to it, but because I got a little frustrated, admittedly, but after yesterday's stream, I worked on the climb a little bit. We had put enough time into climb, and I couldn't get it to work, so I just figured I'd do it. I'd put some extra work into it. Okay, classic. It's one of these where I need to restart Unity. Nope. Okay, cool. So basically, now, you can move a little bit in the air. You can adjust yourself just a little bit. And I also added this blue diffuse lighting to the bottom of the, and I changed the water for now. But I added this blue diffuse lighting to the bottom of the buildings that I thought made it look a little bit like it was diffusing the light from the water that's being reflected off the wall. And I think it goes well with the fog aesthetic, but let's come over here. Okay, so we're on this wall. Climb, climb, climb. And you can see when the ball goes red that I'm climbing. Obviously, this was just a debug feature. It won't be in the game. But you can see now that it's much easier to climb. And if my hand is really in the wall, you can still climb. So you see what I'm doing with the ball is I'm having it follow the hand. And if it's touching something, then you can climb. So you can do all this. You can turn while you're on the wall. Oh, you can grab the wall again before you fall to your death. And then there's two other things. One, you can throw yourself up the wall, which is pretty cool. You can throw yourself to the side. And you can throw yourself off the wall. So that's really fun. Yeah. So that's really fun because, didn't quite work on that one. Because you can jump from wall to wall. Another cool thing that isn't quite so obvious now is that you slide if you have enough speed. So I slid to a stop there. So if maybe I can get a good jump and get up there. The jumping mechanic is a little messed up. Okay, so if I'm on the top of this building, and I drop, and I grab the wall, I'll slide to a stop. So that's really cool as well. So a lot of cool stuff is coming together here. Okay, and so I think today we'll add some audio to that rock slide. And then some other audio if we can. I mean, eat some of this pasta. Okay. So So I guess that would mean that there's some audio there's going to be some audio that subscribes. There's going to be some audio that subscribes to the climb scripts, essentially, and says, okay, well, maybe I need another event for when. Well, let's just go into climb and see what we got here. Alright, so when you attempt to grab the wall, there's this part here that says set the player's slide velocity. And when you let go, let me close these. Okay, and then it dampens the momentum each time. So, basically, the audio effect is going to need to know when they started sliding. It's going to need to know when they started sliding. It's going to need to know the speed at which they're currently sliding. I guess it's going to be told it started sliding, then it's going to need to be told that, okay. So let's do this. Slide started and slide ended. It will be able to get the hand. It'll be able to get the velocity from player spy. It'll be able to get the velocity from player spy so that it can adjust the volume depending on how fast they're sliding. What I don't know is how to get the position or how to get which hand. Okay, I guess we can just do something like that. So then an attempted wall grab. Well, okay, actually. So this slide will be per hand. Sorry, let me just finish this so I can fully concentrate. Okay. So this event is going to be per hand, so you will already know which hand. You will already know which hand by the time you've done it. So I suppose that I don't actually need hand type here, because that will kind of be implicit. And we'll see. Well, I guess let's just... and then an update, and I've moved everything to fixed update, and then an update if it's less than this threshold. You know, now that I'm looking at it, this can't be right to have in here, because I'm trying to move their position, but I'm also dampening their velocity every time that I do it, which seems like it would conflict with the moving of the position. Let me take this out for a sec and see what effect it has, because I was noticing little jitters while climbing, and this might be why. Still getting the jitters. Oh, you know, it'd be really cool. Okay, wait a second. I need to make a to-do. That would be a little bit rough to code up, I think, but yeah, I'm now realizing there's just. Oh, hey, Thought Drifter. Sorry, I don't know if you just joined. I didn't see it. Changing fixed time steps solved jitteriness problems for me in the past. Could be something as stupid as that. Yeah, I was having actually just recently a lot of problems in this game with basically if update is happening every who knows how many frames, and then fixed state update is happening. It was like there was some discrepancies between when each one was happening, and it was causing bugs in the state change. So yeah, it definitely could be something like that. Man, well, I started this day off thinking I would do just audio, but now I'm thinking it's probably a bug to have the I don't know. I don't know if I showed. I'll just show you real quick that. Well, let me put this back in because I don't know if you saw it. But basically, now you can climb nicely. You can throw yourself up there, and you can move yourself a little in the air now too. But my favorite part of what I just added is that if you grab a wall while you're going fast, you slide to a stop. Oh. And you can also jump off the wall, so that's pretty fun too. Okay, very cool. Yeah, there's some jitteriness, which I'll probably try to figure out later. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I think it should be pretty fun, dude. Because they've made a. I mean, this is a spider-like, as I call it. It's like a rogue-like, but it's kind of like Spider-Man, but not really. So, but they've made some spider-likes before, and they like use a lot of I don't know. They're just not very fun. They just don't really. They don't seem to try very hard. So I think the sliding will be fun. I'm now thinking that this is a problem. This setting the velocity in here. So I think I might make an asynchronous function for it. I think I might move this stuff. Basically, when you grab the wall, it checks like it first projects the player's velocity onto the wall using the wall's normal, so you know how fast you're moving, like parallel to the wall, and then basically it starts diminishing it from there. So if this, else player RB dot velocity equals vector 3.0. If you're not over some amount of speed, it will just set it to 0. But so let's do this. Let's get rid of this. Oh, I see what I was doing here. Oh, okay, I see why I was doing it this way. First, I was setting their velocity to be parallel to the wall, and then I was checking if that was 0. Well, let's just do this then. Okay, cool. So then we'll do if should slide, and if they shouldn't slide, to set their velocity to 0. And if they should, let's do dampen slide async. This isn't really going to fix it being in the update problem and messing with the climbing, because the climbing is moving you by velocity and this is dampening your velocity every frame, so I don't think this will fix that, but at least it will make it so that I can break up the functionality a little bit. Although, dang it, man, I wanted to just do audio stuff, and now I'm having to do like this complex coding stuff. If they're grabbing the wall, I'll just need to put this check in there as well. dampen slide async, meaning it's asynchronous. I don't know if you watched the async await video thought, but it's like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in Unity development. If you're not using async await using Unitask, you're just doing it all wrong. Okay, so basically, when you start sliding, it'll call this dampen slide async, and then down here it says, okay, well, if they're still sliding, if they're still grabbing the wall and they're still at a velocity that would be considered sliding, go ahead and diminish the velocity. Go ahead and diminish the velocity. And I think out here, is where we did this. I believe this would be gone. And instead we're gonna wanna await unitask dot wait for fixed update. We're gonna import this. Huh. Oh, I just didn't make it async. Should be noted that you do not have to put this async here for it to be async. I just do it so that I can see what is async and what's not. All right, let me make sure this makes sense. Okay, so it calls dampen slide while the hand is grabbing the wall and the velocity is greater than some threshold value minus the velocity, and then wait for the next frame and then check again. And if all that is done, then we'll say slide ended. This was all so that I could basically just say slide ended. Because this way, if they were grabbing the wall, it was always going to be dampening their velocity, like the whole time. It was always going to be dampening the player's velocity as long as they were grabbing the wall, no matter if it was under this or not. So I think that's wrong, and I think this new way is better. Although it does make perhaps it makes it a little more confusing. So I don't know. We'll see. But okay, and then slide ended invoke. And let's see if that gets us the same functionality or if I have a bug somewhere. Okay. Waiting for my hands to turn on. Okay, very cool. Run, 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 run. Not quite. Oh no. Okay, so it looks like it's stopping me immediately. Player RB dot velocity equals project their velocity onto the grab normal. if the magnitude is greater than should slide. Okay. I figured that bug must have been somewhere else, considering I was pretty confident in the... Okay, so it's still a bug. This isn't calling multiple times, is it? Like, I believe it's just called once per press. Let's see. Yes, it's just called that once. Okay, so maybe we'll come back to this, but for now I'm just gonna do this a different way. And now I'm a little worried that player orbit velocity equals greater than this, question mark. And if you don't know what this syntax is, let me know, thought. Is it greater than the magnitude player orbit velocity, else vector 3.0. I'm just putting it back to what it was. Okay, and then we'll say the slide started. Then we'll go back to fixed update. And we'll put this back. And let's just make sure that works real quick. Oh yeah, I wonder why it wasn't working. Oh, also, it's kind of cool thought. If you slide off the wall, it will stop dampening you, so you can... Oh. I think I actually just missed the wall entirely on that one. Let's see this one. So if you're like swinging and you catch that part of the wall, but you have too much speed, you'll actually just grab it and slide off of it, which is kind of funny. You like couldn't stop yourself fast enough to not fall. Okay, so that is working, and then now basically I'll just say if you're sliding. Which is not my favorite way to do it, to just have a flag. The problem is that it's like a full-on global flag, so not global, but I guess class flag. So it's not very functional in the sense that I don't really know what's happening to this variable just by looking at a function. I have to like look over the whole script to find where it is, which it can be kind of burdensome sometimes. but we'll basically say that if it was set to 0, they started the slide, and M sliding is true. Okay, and then back in fixed update, if you're sliding, go ahead and get rid of the velocity, and if it's less, then M sliding equals false. Should also be noted that if you let go and you were grabbing the wall, M sliding equals false. And is there anything else I need to do that for? So this just isn't a great way to be doing this. There's like 3 different places that I need to be setting this. But it's not too bad because I can just control find this released wall and put it in all those places. So it's now in all those places, so it should work. But it's an easy place to create a bug, essentially. Huh. There we go. Okay, seems pretty cool. So now, okay, so all of that was really just in an attempt to have a correctly functioning slide started and slide ended. And we were going to use that for audio. Okay, cool. So then we basically need to come in here. How is this going to work exactly? I'm going to have this XR rig, player audio effects, jump sound effect. It's a jump sound effect, has a clip. Suppose we'll just create a new object, call it I'm not sure this is exactly how it'll be done, but I'm just kind of rolling through it here. Audio, Foley. Okay. No slide sound effect. We'll need a public climb, and an enable and disable. It'll basically subscribe. I don't know if you use actions like events and subscribe to events and whatnot, but that's all really cool too. So basically in that other script I said like, hey, let everybody who cares know when you start a slide and when you end one. And this script cares because this script wants to play audio. Start audio. End audio. Void start audio. So then I don't exactly know how I want to do this yet, but basically the audio is going to depend on both the player's speed and the position of the hand. So basically we'll want to, and I guess we can just get the position of the hand from this climb script here. It's not that big of a deal. Void end audio. Okay, and I've written this before, more or less. It's called like hand audio. So it looks like I have some stuff for silk shooting, play hand slide, and hand slide. Okay. So it got an audio source. All right, we'll see if we can work with this. It looks like basically there were two sounds. Looks like essentially there were two sounds, and it just played them at a random starting point. So they must have been loopable in a way that sounded nice, and I just wanted it to be a different sound each time you were doing it. I don't know what sounds they were using. I suppose I could go check, probably, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But I don't quite know where I would do that. So let's just go take a look. Okay, so we have this public climb and then public audio clip SO. And if you recall, we were using scriptable objects before just so that we could change things and it would disperse the changes everywhere without having to worry about it. And we're going to do the same thing with audio clips. So we're going to use audio pool for this. Source.set with, and this is all stuff I've written, it's not stuff that comes with Unity. Hand slide lengths. Had I like set the... That's, okay. I don't know why I was doing it that way. That's interesting. I must have had a reason, but I don't think I have the reason anymore, so I'm just gonna do clip.clip.length. I'll just grab it there. Okay, and then I'll play it. And then for now, we won't worry about this. We'll rename this slide clip. Slide sound effect. And we will want to be using the left controller for that. And for this one, the right. Cool. And then we need to make this slide clip. So we'll come in here, we'll duplicate this. We'll rename it slide climb slide audio. And this will just be 1. It will spatialize. Its spatial blend will be 1. Pitch will be 1. It will loop. Play on awake. No. Okay. So let's go find a good audio clip. It doesn't exactly feel loopable, I have to say. I guess I must have thought it was loopable enough at the time. Okay. All right, set it equal to the position of the hand. Play it. And I think we'll want a Boolean called is playing, and we'll set it equal to false. And then here we'll say is playing equals true. And then if it is playing, source dot volume equals, I guess, player spy dot rb dot velocity dot magnitude divided by what side they had a minimum speed, like the minimum speed necessary to start sliding. I'm just trying to figure out what a good upper bound for the speed is. First of all, I guess I'll clamp it. All right, let's see where that gets us. Cool, and now when I do changes to that audio clip, it will propagate to both of those, so I won't have to worry about it. All right, let's see. Oh, I missed it. Okay, so there's something wrong somewhere. I don't know if you can hear that, but it is working to some degree. It basically didn't stop playing once I came off the wall. And yeah, so I think that's because I have this sliding variable. Oh man, this is getting so bad. It's because slide ended isn't really being called in a bunch of places. There's a few ways that a slide can end, and it's only being called for this one here. Let me think. I'm trying to think if there's a way to aggregate all these different places that a slide could end into one spot. Because where is it all ending? It could end if you just slide off the wall. It could end if the other hand grabs the wall. And it could end if you let go of the wall. Okay, I don't see something immediately, but there is something else we can do. That is not... the best, but it's also not the worst. And now basically in all these places, I'll do end slide. That way if I need to add more functionality to it, at least I don't have to do it. At least I don't have to do it in every spot, just that one spot. Okay, cool. So let's check that now. Dang it. Yeah, okay. Seems pretty good. Okay. So from there, let's see if we can... And this is so ridiculous. I'm just putting it all under XRrig. I just know eventually I'm going to do some form of scene loading where I have an initial scene and then I load this one in. And I don't want to have to deal with like having to hook up. Like if these audio effects, which need to reference things in the player, lived outside the player, if they lived in the scene, then when the player was loaded in, I would have to like go in here and attach all these things that I needed. And I don't want to do that, even though it's probably the more appropriate thing to do. So I'm just going to put them all on the player as if like that should be the thing. Okay, let's see. And let me know if you have any questions, Todd. Oh, how's the meditation thing going? I don't know if you've gotten any work on it. It sounds like you did a little bit if you were changing things around to linear and whatnot. I'm putting together a little performance tips and tricks video now. It's going to be fairly simple. I'm just going to basically go over the basics, like all the, because the best way to do optimization is to never have to do it in the first place. It's kind of like healthcare, where like the best healthcare is just preventative medicine instead of like trying to figure out how to beat cancer. You just don't get cancer in the first place, is the idea. And so if you like know what your system can handle before you start making the game, you're way better off than having to optimize later. Because I've done it before when you what was I going to say? When you have to optimize a game and you just have to tear everything out of it because you didn't know what your system could handle, it's totally brutal. It's the worst. But let's see. Any plans on making this multiplayer eventually? I've been watching guys play Gorilla Tag VR. I could see them enjoying something like this too. Yeah, I saw the Gorilla Tag VR as well. I thought it's such a classic, like, and I'm sure it's doing well just because it's so ridiculous. But no, I don't have. So I make these games in a month. So multiplayer is kind of out of my realm right now. I basically need like other headsets and other people to test it out, but they need to really be in the loop like constantly, or else it's not gonna work. And then I need to, and even that, I should probably, the first time I do it off stream and create a package that I know has no multiplayer bugs in it that I can then just import and make any game multiplayer really quickly. But I don't have anything like that yet, so I don't think so. But yeah, no, once the month is over, I'm pretty much done with it. Unless it is like overwhelmingly enjoyed and people want me to make more content, at which point I'll probably do something like, oh, if I get, I don't know, 1,000 TikTok followers, I'll make the next one, or I'll make more content for it, or something like that. Basically, just kind of see if I can get something out of it. Let's see, since I'm not charging for any of the games anyway. And that's cool that you're working on it. What are you doing right now? What are you trying to figure out in your game? Well, I guess I won't bother you too much if you're actively trying to program right now. Let's see. Okay, so now it seems like before I had another thing. So let's do that. Oh, you know what? That's why it seemed a little weird. I wasn't updating the position as well. And I need to change this to source 1 and source 2. And then I need to keep repositioning them. Okay, and then here, slide clip, no. There's going to be another audio clip called rock crunch clip. And then we'll use that. This audio source pool thing I created was really convenient. It's basically just an infinite source of audio sources that I can draw from. They get like dynamically created if I need them. So that's pretty nice. Whereas before I used to have to like make sure it had an audio source, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that should be good. And then I just need to create these scriptable objects. So I'll duplicate that and I'll rename this one. Sliding rock crunch audio. Okay, cool. All right, let's see what that gets us. Cool. Okay, so now, if you're not watching, well, I don't know if you can actually hear it. Never mind. So maybe it's not that interesting, but it's extremely epic in the game. Man, I can't wait to get Silk slinging in. Alright, cool. So now, I might just get in the particle effect, honestly. Yeah, it is. It's interesting that like a game is just it's like movies. A game is really just nothing without audio. And you can sometimes you think something is like you're like this game pretty much sucks, and then you add some audio and you're like, actually, it's pretty good. As it turns out, I didn't realize. So that's kind of funny. Okay, I think in my I probably had. Where would I even have this? Okay. So we'll just create a particle effect for it. Huh. Oh, and Thought, maybe you could give me your opinion on this. I do you think people in the Discord would want to? Because there's probably like 3, 4 people now who are seem pretty serious, like they're actually making VR games and whatnot. Do you think they would be interested? Should I push for people, or not push for it, but just basically make it apparent that like, hey, you guys can work together. Like, if you want to find teammates, I have a find teammates section in there, but I don't know if people would actually be interested in just working with random people. I know maybe I wouldn't be crazy interested in working with random people. I don't know if that's a sentiment people share. I guess I guess maybe people would be more interested once they get to know the other people in there. So maybe it's just a smarter move to facilitate people meeting each other. And then, like, because I'd work with someone I know, you know? Maybe. I was always kind of a lone wolf. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to figure out how to facilitate that, because I think it'd be really cool, because people have different, like, if we have artists and we have programmers and whatnot. Okay. So I'm going to create a... You're supposed to use... I need to learn the new...
Any further excited create drops, and capacity is going to drop very fast. It run. It stops from and delete it and add a bleed particle cloud to the base color map. Let's see the result. Actually, not what we expected, but let's try by changing the alpha of the. For the final part,
Alright, cool. I'll probably... it probably depends on needs and skill sets and a combination of things. I'm a lone wolf too, but in the end we usually end up realizing that to release something serious we have no choice to collab. Yeah, I think that's pretty much true. So it's a good idea. I just need to figure out how to evolve it. Yeah, I think thinking about it a little bit more, I would just need to more facilitate people getting to know each other than I would. Like, it would be weird to try to jam people together before they're ready to do it, obviously. So I think if I can get people to feel comfortable with each other, it would make more sense. Maybe someone helps you out a few times. You're starting to think like, oh, this person, like, oh, I don't know. Oh, I was looking into animating hands a little bit yesterday as well, because if I have time, I'd like to like do some hand stuff, but I figured out how to do it, so maybe I'll do that later. Okay, particle effects. Let me. I also think it's probably just good to be a lone wolf for a while you're learning things. Otherwise, you become dependent on other people. But once you kind of know everything and you're like, yeah, I know how to do that. I just don't want to. It's going to take me too long. I think that maybe is when you become less of a lone wolf. What am I doing here? Why can I not find this? Alright, new idea. Cool. Okay, let's see if we can make a little rock emitter here. I guess it's basically... Yeah, that looks pretty good. The lifetime is way too long. Let's make it like 1 second. Gravity modifier will be 1. Simulation space will be world. There will be cubes. Let's give it building for right now. Start size 0.03. Well, let's do a 3D start size. Well, actually, start size random between 2 constants, 0.01, 0.03, rate 20, 30, shape, angle, radius, way smaller, probably 0.2, I'd say. Grab that color, make it not smooth at all. Okay. In fact, let's just make it, well, let's keep it lit for now. Now let's default to unlit. I know I'll be looking for people to collaborate with in larger projects. I just need to figure out my needs, but I also realize that I don't need to do everything, even if I know how. Not enough time in the day to do it all. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. What is your focus, by the way? I don't know if I've asked you already, but are you a programmer or are you an artist, or sort of just like a 50-50 split down the middle? Mm-hmm. All right, let's make it lit. Okay, let me see here. Okay, cool. So now I have these rock slide particles. And then let's copy this and call it player particle effects. Let's get rid of these and put 2 of these. I pretty much studied computer science. It was called computational media. I studied it at Georgia Tech, and it was kind of just like creative computer science. So we did a lot of well, I didn't, but I actually don't know how I got around doing this. But we did a lot of art, and then we did a lot of web design and stuff like that. Mostly I was just making games. They didn't really teach us how to make games, is kind of the problem. I had to learn all that on my own, so what ended up happening is I kind of shirked school responsibility. I ended up I still got good grades, but I ended up basically shirking school responsibility and spending all my time making games instead, which I think was the good move for someone who wants to develop games. So that's pretty cool. What about you? Are you in college, or are you high school, or what? Do I need to make a left hand and a right hand for this? I think that would make my life easier, but I don't think it's necessary. But I'm gonna do it just because it makes my life easier. rock slide effect. Very cool. And we're basically just going to take from slide, except we're not going to be playing audio, obviously. We're going to be playing a... So there will be no audio clip. And these will be start effect. And end effect. And then here, there was no volume. So we don't need that. We do need an is playing. And we need a particle. What is it called? A particle system. We'll call it system. In enable, we'll set system equals get component, particle system. Okay, and then we'll set the position is playing. I think this will be pretty simple. We'll basically just do system.play, system.transform.position. Equals this system.stop. Cool. And then in here we'll add rock slide effect. Save that, will come out, and then on this one we'll give it the left hand, and on this one we'll give it the right hand. Very cool. Let's make sure it's not playing when the game starts. And let's set these to 0. All right, let's see. Oh, classic. I forgot. Okay, so it shoots it along the z-axis. So let's pause that. And we basically need to do okay, let me think. We need the normal. We need the normal of the wall you just hit so that it can face the right direction. So I can either give it a climb ball. I guess I can just give it a climb ball. That's not really that big of a deal. We can just do climb ball dot last collision normal. And then of course we'll have to go in here and set the climb balls. Okay, let's check that out. Alright, so it's really shooting them out. Yeah. So let's take a look at them. First of all, shooting them way too far. This radius should probably, 0.2 is probably fine. The speed is crazy. And should be a random between two constants. Let's make it 0.3 and 1 maybe? And 2? Okay, and then we think. And then it just feels like this is a little too low. Let's make it 0.1 and see how that feels. The speed at which static friction takes over for your slide, your slide, I thought was too low. You were like sliding too long. It didn't really make sense. This is more design than it is programming, but whatever. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Okay, I believe the material is a little dark. So let's lighten that up. Something like that. And then I think that we're going to want to place it where the climb ball is. No, not quite. It's like not being placed appropriately on the wall because it's being placed where the hand is. It's being placed where the hand is. The hand is like inside the wall. Let me go into this climb ball. Okay, let's see if this works well enough. It's not gonna be perfect, unfortunately. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, so I think I'm just going to have to do a ray cast here. And I'm going to do it between the hand and the ball. That's actually not a guarantee. It's actually not a guarantee that that will get anything. Is the problem. Dang, this is like a weird problem. Okay, different idea. So, I have the ball, I have the hand. The hand is always trying to follow the ball. I know that the ball is 0.1 across. Which means it has a radius of 0.05. So I could move 0.05 towards the hand. Get position. Okay, and then I think it's just going to be climb ball dot transform dot position plus climb dot transform dot position minus climb ball dot transform dot position normalized times climb ball dot transform dot local. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Lossy scale dot x divided by 2. But let's make it times 0.5 because we're not lazy. Division is harder for computers to do than multiplication. So if you have a hard-coded number, you might as well make it multiplication. At least as far as I know. Equals get position. All right, let's check that out. Oh, I pushed off the wall. All right. Oh, dang it. Okay, cool. And then we have this particle system start speed. It says it's deprecated, but deprecated does not mean obsolete. All right. Okay, cool. let's see here. Alright, cool. I think that's good. I was basically just adjusting the speed of the particles. Particle system dot main module main. I was just adjusting the speed of the particles based on how fast you were going. That way, I don't know, it just felt a little weird for the particles always to be flying the same speed off the wall. We could probably bump this up to 10. Maybe make this from 1.5. And then we'll set the main there. We might as well test that again real quick before we move on. Huh. Okay, cool. Let me mess around without these hands real quick. Okay, very cool. Alright, so let's move on to some other audio. I'm thinking some sort of ambient audio, and then the wind in the ear effect, which is essentially when you're moving really fast, wind in your ear starts picking up in both pitch and volume, which should be pretty cool. And then there's also one more where the higher you get in the city, the more you just hear wind in general. Okay, cool. So let's start with the ambient sound. let me go ahead and take a look at the audio here. Oh, and then there's also collisions, which I should probably do as well. Okay, so there's a few things. Let's start with collisions, actually. Well, okay, let's get that ambient audio in. Spatial blend 2D, volume, I don't know, loop, and play on awake. Very cool. So that's about as simple as it gets. We just need to figure out what we need the audio level to be. Okay, so definitely not that loud. How loud is my volume? Okay, it's a little loud. And even without the swinging, it's still pretty fun. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it. I'll show you. I mean, I guess you probably just got a pretty good view of it, but and thought if you haven't met Jake, he's one of my moderators. He's a cool guy. But yeah, Jake, I got in basically climbing, so you can be like, well, let me find a cooler wall. So I run off into the alley because I'm about to fight crime. And I go. And then I'm like, oh, I need to climb faster. So I throw myself up the wall. And then I jump to this wall. Ah! But then I can. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. I'm getting like stuck on this. There we go. But then I also have rock sliding. So if you're going too fast, it'll do a little slide. Uh-oh, where am I? They trapped me, but not for long. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, but now I'm just doing some audio effects, so I'm about to do the player collision next. which will basically, so the rigid body is here. I mean, really, it's just every time you collide. Every time you collide, you should play a sound. Yeah, it should be pretty good. I'm excited for it, dude. I just found out that Awesome AP Orb has a bug in it, so they're gonna reject me for that, and it's already been like a month since I submitted it, which means I'm gonna have to wait another month after fixing the bug for them to, like, if it only takes a month, it might take them. Actually, sorry, I submitted Grove like a month and a half ago, so their turnaround for feedback on like the hey I submitted this is at least a month and a half. So that means that Awesome AP Orb won't be able to come out for at least another 2 months. So I'm gonna have like 4 games in the pipeline before Oculus is even like, hey, you have a bug. And I'll be like, yeah, I know I had a bug, okay? Yeah, it is game breaking. I don't know, I just don't know how it got in, because it literally, you can't click the UI buttons. And I know for a fact, obviously, I checked if you could click the UI buttons. So I don't know what the heck happened. But basically, like, I exported it, then beat the whole game. So I don't know what game I submitted, but it wasn't the one that I had. But now I'm playing, I did it again, I made a build and it has that bug. So I don't know where that bug came from. But yeah, I'll need to figure that out and resubmit. But man, dude. Oh yeah, thought, if you wanna play Awesome AP Orb, let me know and I can add you to the list. It's the game I made last month. Such a bummer. If you want me to rough up some Oculus employees, I'll get your games approved faster. Yeah, no, that would be good. That would be good if you could do that. Okay. Let me fix that bug, thought, and then I'll let you know. You can send me your email. I'll need like whatever email you signed up with for Oculus. I'll need that, and I can add you to the alpha list, and then you should be able to go in, and it's a little confusing, but it's like under your preview games or something in the Oculus app. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's got a global leaderboard, so yeah. Jake's our enforcer. He moonlights as an enforcer and makes sure that everything is good. Hey Jake, do you want to tell me if this is funny? It's the new TikTok I'm making. Where would it be? It's called Bruce's Unshakable Morals.
First, you must demonstrate your commitment. But first, you must demonstrate your commitment to justice. Wait for it! I'm no executioner. This man should be tried. Bruce, please. I will not become an executioner. What are you doing? It's necessary, my friend.
It freaking cracks me up, dude. And then I'm basically just gonna turn the camera to myself and be like, but it was cracking me up just watching it. It's so ridiculous. Okay. Anyway, back to this. In the movie, he's like, I won't kill anybody, and then he proceeds to kill literally like dozens and dozens of people, like 3 seconds after. So I just thought it was so funny. Okay, so we need to do collision sounds for the player. Yeah, you're right. I guess it would be good to put I'm no executioner. Yeah, you're right. That's a good idea. I think I probably should do that. Okay. That is good to know before I post it. Okay, so I need access to the collision data for the player. I could just put. I could essentially just put the script on. I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's already like a million other scripts on there, so I might as well just put it on there. Plays when you're sliding on rock. Just realized I didn't. Okay, cool. Collision sound effect. Plays sounds when the player collides with an object. Okay, cool. So then I'll basically have on collision enter. Let me check out climb ball, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Void on collision enter collision collision. Cool. Oh man, giving Jake the cold. What is it called? The cold hand. Cold. Actually, I guess I really only care about when it enters. And we'll basically say audio clip SO, collision clip, we'll basically say audio source, and let's go ahead and make audio source this just so that we're not generating garbage. I don't know if audio source is actually, yeah, it's a class, so it should generate garbage if you're making it every or within a function. Audio source. Cold shoulder. No, what is it? Oh, it is the cold shoulder where you're like, wait. Source equals audio source pool dot get source dot set with SO. Call clip. Source.play. And that's pretty much it for that. Now I need to oh man. Yeah, I don't really eat M&Ms either, I don't think. I guess I don't need I pretty much feel like I would eat a ton of candy if I had the opportunity. I don't know why I don't. Duplicate this, call it player collision sound effect. We'll basically lock that. We'll go over here to audio collision. We'll put all of these on there. And we'll set the volume sure to 1, spatialize, don't loop it. Okay, cool. And then we'll come back to the player, unlock this, come down here. and give it the old player collision. Where did it go? Here we go. Okay, and that should work. Oh, that wasn't it. Okay. I don't eat M&Ms. I'm sorry, that's not a color. Green sounds good. Acceptable. Acceptable. That's funny. I accept your answer. Thought, are you just picking green because it's your favorite color? It's yours. And now Jake's giving you the cold shoulder, I guess. Okay. If collision dot what's the correct way to do this? Speed of collision unity. Jake, that's not a color either, dude. Greater than, I don't know, let's do a public float min speed for sound equals 1 meter a second, let's say. Min speed for sound do this. And then we'll probably want to do source.volume equals wow. What's wrong with orange anyway? Source.volume equals speed. Source.volume equals speed divided. Okay, speed. What am I trying to do here? Speed minus min speed divided by some upper bound speed. Let's say 20 minus min speed. And that should get you an interval from 0 to 1, which is what we want. I didn't know that. Are you sure? Are you sure M&Ms actually taste different? Like, I think they're all the same taste, Jake. I think it's like red velvet cake and chocolate cake. It's just a different color. You're placeboing yourself. Okay, cool. So I like to do things like this in VR. This is one of... Oh. Forgot about that. Ambient rain needs to be set to like 0.05. No. And I don't think anybody can, Jake. I think that your brain thinks that you can. But I think if we did a blind taste test, you wouldn't know. Okay. Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to do in VR is to, I guess, make things like they would be in real life. I guess you can do that. Oh, you know what? I don't think I set the position. You 100%. You would not, Jake. We'll have to do it. There's no way. It's impossible. I will bet. I'll bet you $5 on it. Alright, you saw it first thought. He accepted the deal. So when he tries to back out of it. You probably can't hear it, but I was wondering the same. I'm sure they all taste the same. Yeah, Jake, you're freaking crazy, dude. It sounds like a dog barking. Yeah, that's what I put in there. Okay, so I believe that we're having trouble with... We'll go ahead and make this async. Let me think about this, actually. You don't have a refined palate. I'm a very refined palate. Plus, I don't think a refined palate indicates any sensitivity to taste. I think it means that... Wait, I guess that is what it would mean. Oh, what the heck? I see what happened. Okay, I thought the number 6 looked weird. There was only 5 of those. I thought there was a problem with my audio pool. Thank God. This is so much better. This guy had slipped in here. So we'll put him to the end, then we'll call this 5. We can get him out of there. Alright, very cool. Now it should work. Okay, one of these sounds is bad. It just kind of sounds not very good. Let's go in here and find it. Collision. That's good. That's good too. Although I think it's the exact same thing as this one. It is. So we'll get rid of 0, 2. Okay, it's this one. Get rid of 0, 2 and 0, 5. You're out of here. Now we have 3 sounds. Very cool. Yeah, I really like using scriptable objects because you can do a lot of fun stuff like this, where it's like, I made it a possible clips, and then when you set a source with a scriptable object, and there it grabs a random clip, essentially, from the possible clips. It's just fun. It's just a good way to code. Okay. If you have any questions about scriptable objects, Jake, let me know. I know how you are with them. Ow. I can script your objects. No. Okay, very cool. So that's some pretty good audio, but we do have time for more, which is good, because we're nearing the halfway point on this. And I want to start getting in the coins. I don't know if I told you about this thought, but I'm probably gonna, just because like it's really more of a demo than a game, but to make it more of a game, I think I'm gonna write a script that basically places like 300 coins around the city. And when you get those coins, if you get enough of them at levels, it brings you to the next level. They're like XP coins. And when you go to the next level, you can like swing faster, jump farther, things like that. And then I'm going to have a global leaderboard that basically says who has the most coins. That way there's a social element to it too, so you want to get the most coins. But yeah, that's the plan. Okay, cool. So next let's do... I think I have a sound. Wind ambient, ambient America, okay. Cool, so let's copy this, paste it. High, wind as you go higher. Cool, and then here, we'll do wind ambient. Plan awake and loop. It is just a uh, 2D sound. That's pretty much it. Even more. I have to have the most coins. Yeah, I feel like that's how people will feel. Even more reason to implement multiplayer race for the coins. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it could be as simple as that. Just like give you a time limit and see who gets the most coins. I know people would like multiplayer. I guess if I was gonna make it multiplayer, I'd probably try to make it some form of fighting. But man, I'll tell you, yeah, thought anytime you go multiplayer, you can expect your development to increase by like 3. It would end up taking me like 3 months instead of the 1 month. Multiplayer is just crazy annoying to do. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if once I made this, if the next Spider-Man VR game that came out used a lot of the stuff that I was doing. Because I'm pretty confident that the way I'm designing it is the right way. Like, I think they were using buttons for jump and stuff. So annoying. Okay. Anyway, wind as you go higher, wind ambient, and then we basically need to write a script for this. Okay, first of all, let's import a package. One of my packages. That's called my math. Let's import that. It must be in a different spot. Where is this math? Put that in here. I'm just trying to write a function real quick. It's just so Unity, or Oculus, that Oculus package is so bad. Alright, cool. Put a number on an interval based on the upper and lower bound of that interval. Public static floats intervalize. Probably not really what it's called, but that's what I'm going to call it. And then basically we're going to have float num, float input, lower bound, float input, upper bound, float output, lower bound, float output, upper bound. Okay, and then we're going to take this number. What would it be? Okay, so first you subtract the lower bound, then you divide that by the upper bound. And you clamp that to 0 to 1. Then you multiply that by the difference between the upper bound and the lower bound. And then you add that to the lower bound. So then really it's actually, it's kind of unnecessary. All right, cool. So then we need to write another script. We'll call it wind sound effect. Very cool. We'll open this up. Handles the wind sound effect. Kicks in as you go higher. Actually, this is probably unnecessary. Basically, we're going to say audio source equals get component audio source, just setting that. And we'll do source dot volume equals mymath.intervalize player spy dot head dot position dot y. Input lower bound. Let's say you have to go up 100 meters. Upper bound 1,000. Let's call it 200 meters, maybe. Okay, let's say you have to go up like 50 meters. 200 meters, output lower bound 0, 1. Okay, and that should be good. Basically just saying, hey, as you go higher, go ahead and make it louder. I actually don't think I'll ever want the wind that loud. Let's test it. Actually, that's not bad. Okay, let's see what that gets us. Okay, so I can't hear it on the floor there, but I can hear it up at the top. And I don't know if I can actually go any higher, really. I guess I could take a moment to climb. And I can hear it a little bit up here. I guess I can climb that building, maybe. Oh. Here we go. What just happened? There's some problem with climb. Jeez, I'll tell you what, that actually kind of frightened me a little bit falling all that way. Because it's starting to feel a little bit more real now that we have audio in. Okay, cool. So that's good. Let me go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Suppose it... Okay, very cool. Oh. Very cool. Let's see here. So we have that. That's all going pretty well. I probably should... do a params here. Public float, wind, start, height. Public float, wind. Height, wind, volume, max. Okay. $15,200, just like it was. Very cool. Okay, now on to wind in the ear. Wind in ear. And we should probably rename this to Geez, I don't know why it's taking so long for these scripts to reload each time. What I should probably do is use some assembly definitions to counteract what Oculus is doing. I think what happened is basically like Unity will recompile every script you have in your project every time you like change a script or add a new script. So as you have increasingly more scripts, it takes longer for that process. So you can use assembly definition files to basically say like don't do the whole thing, do just a little bit. And I don't have a lot of scripts yet, so I think what's happening is that Oculus plugin that I have has like 1 million scripts on it that are all useless, and it's just taking, and they didn't use any assembly definitions, so it's just taking all of my like time up. But I actually don't know how to use assembly definitions right now, so I'd have to look it up. Windeneer sound effect. Okay, so this one will be similar. Player spy dot rv dot velocity dot magnitude. Okay, and then we'll want to do audio source void start source equals get component audio source. Okay. We want to say source dot volume equals my math dot intervalize. Well, for now we won't do anything. Copy this, call it wind and ear. Get rid of this wind and ear sound effect. Wind, ear. Let's take a listen to it. Let's find some values that we like. Okay. .7 and 3 I thought sounded pretty good for the pitch. Intervalize speed. Say 20. $20, $80. How fast could someone really be going in this game? I don't know. Let's do 20 and 80 for now. Output 0 and 1. source dot pitch equals the same thing. So for this one, the output will be 1.7 and 3. Alright, and let's check that out. Should be cool. Let's go to a really tall building. I thought this one was the tallest, then I rotated and was like, oh, this one's the tallest. And then, oh, it happened again. That's funny. Okay. This one's the tallest. Alright, I need to make my camera a little bit faster if I'm ever going to get there. Whee! Alright, this should be a good starting point for me. Oh wow, it perfectly did it. Nope. Okay, never mind. Alright, let's get pumped for me to jump off this ledge. Look how skinny I am. Alright, cool. Yeah, I want you to feel like you're high up when you're high up, you know? I don't want it to feel like you're just kind of in the same spot. Oh, that was really cool. Man, I wish you guys could try that. That was really extremely epic. As like the wind in your ear picks up and the pitch gets higher and higher, it's like you feel like you're like, oh yeah, I'm coming in hot, baby. I'm gonna do it again. It's hilarious. Except maybe. Well, okay, now that that's working well, let's go ahead and oh geez, it's a lot. Okay. Float. Alright, speed lower bound equals 20, speed upper bound equals 80. .7 pitch out upper bound equals 3. Okay, cool. Oh man, Jake, I was playing some Overwatch at like 11 last night. I was playing my ranked matches to get ranked, and I started out in Platinum, which is pretty high, and we won, and I was doing really well, and it was so fun because they were so good at the game, and it was just so epic playing with them. And then I just watched as my teammates just got so bad, and I just lost every game after that, and now I'm in silver, which is like 2 whole divisions down. It's such a bummer. Alright. Maybe let's make this. Yeah, I think that's true. But I don't think even our best team put together is as good as those people I was playing with first. They were like, it was like a whole different game. It was actually really cool. It was like when you start playing Rocket League with like Diamond 3s and Champs, and you're like, wow, this is how the game was meant to be played. Okay, cool. I'm going to jump off again. Yeah, if you play any games, any like Overwatch or Rocket League, we can all play sometime. All right. And it's crazy because you're going so fast and you hit the ground and all you hear is rain. And then it's kind of casual again. Hearthstone, yeah, I tried it one time. It's not, I just don't think my brain is calculated enough for that type of game. But it's clearly a good game. I see why people like it a lot. I think one of my friends was trying to be competitive in it, and he was in some Las Vegas tournament for it. And he did pretty well in that, so that was cool for him. But yeah, it seems like a cool game. I always just wanted to make a full deck of the Murdocs, or what are they? The like little gremlins in the water that have really low health, but you have like a ton of them. I always thought that would be cool. Murlocs. Yeah, if I was gonna play, I would just make a whole deck of Murlocs just because it's the most ridiculous strategy you can have, I feel like. Should we get into the Old Republic? I don't know. And that'll be it for the day, guys. I'm going to look up Old Republic and then we can talk a little bit. I feel pretty good about that, getting all that audio in and some of those effects. The relay is bringing it together, which is pretty cool. I still need to deploy it to the headset, and then I need to fix this awesome AP orb bug, and then I can push that to you. And then I can push that to you, Thought, so that you can play awesome AP orb. And then, yeah, okay. Let's see here. Old Republic. Wait, is this like, didn't this come out like a really, really long time ago?
Thankfully, these hopes it's not the pretty in settings. It's quite
This is what you
scalable,
wanna get,
so as long
Jake.
as you don't mind turning down the settings, even a couple-year-old rig should be able to run the Old Republic. BioWare is better known for their setting, the tenuous for the player. Fully voice-acted scenes, a task.
No. 7 Days to Die. 7 Days to Die or 7 Ways to Die? 7 Days to Die. Is it still early access? It came out in 2014. The Fun Pimps made this game. That's nice. Hey, it does have very positive reviews. And it's still early access. Yeah, they're just never going to finish it. Let's just wait for Dying Light 2 on zombie games. Too loud, sorry. Oh my god, look at that game. That looks amazing. Oh my god, it doesn't even have anti-aliasing. Alright, I'll think about it, Jake. I'll think about it. Alright, well, I think I'll call it there because there's nothing else I can really do in the 9 minutes that we have allocated. But thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for keeping me company. Hopefully this was helpful for you in some way. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.